How you doing, everybody? This is BG Dino, and I am the Turbidone Soldier. Today, we will be reviewing the movie, The Woman in the Yard. And guys, I hope you like my new intro. All soldiers should have an intro song, and that is mine. So sit back, relax. In fact, put your seatbelt on, because this is going to be a rough ride. But first, let's watch this trailer. How you doing, guys? The Lady in the Yard, starring Danielle Deadwalder and Russell Hornsby. But first, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I was not going to wear a black wedding gown. So, you got BG in the yard. So let's get started. This is another Blumhouse movie that I should have left right after I seen this part right here. I truly think I'm just addicted to seeing that part right there, to be honest, because there was nothing about this trailer that intrigued me. But I still went to see it anyway. I keep giving Blumhouse chance after chance. This story takes place in a secluded farmhouse where you meet the character Ramona and her two kids. The movie starts off with Ramona and her husband named David laying in bed and having a good conversation about the house that they're living in and how happy they are. But you notice that it seems strange. It seems almost like it's a dream. So a couple minutes after that, one of Ramona's kids came into the room and woke her up. She was dreaming. She was dreaming that her husband was lying next to her. Ramona's son woke up early and he realized that the power wasn't on and they didn't have any more dog food to feed their dog. So he decided to go into the refrigerator and give the dog some leftover food. Then he proceeded up to his mother Ramona's room to wake her up and let her know that the power wasn't on and breakfast was done. Following that, you realize that Ramona has a brace on her leg, like she's been injured and something was wrong with her leg and she had to use crutches. And Ramona, she proceeded to leave out the room to meet up with her kids in the kitchen to have breakfast. And as she was going down the stairs, she almost tripped a little bit, and immediately after that, the dog that ate all the leftover food begins to puke on the floor. Now this is where I'm about to have my rant, so I need my censors button. It took 15 minutes for just to see that. Whew, I'm better now. It took 15 minutes in the movie for the scariest thing to happen was for her to almost fall down the steps with her crutches and a dog puked. It took 15 minutes. That was the scariest thing you've seen. While they were sitting out eating breakfast, the son noticed that there was a woman sitting in their yard. Now keep in mind, there's no other houses anywhere near. I think the nearest house, I think they said, was 5 miles away. There was a woman sitting in their yard on their property with a chair. So she's sitting down in a chair. So the mom proceeds to go out the door to go and approach the person that's on her property. The mom goes to the woman sitting in the yard on a chair. And the first thing she asks a woman that's sitting in all black, a black wedding dress almost, but like with a veil over her head, and the first thing she thinks to ask this woman is, do you need any help? I'm better. The woman begins to talk straight up trash to I'm talking about the woman that's sitting in the chair. in the yard. She wasn't one of them quiet ghosts. She was lazy as hell, just like any other Jason Blum ghost or monster. All of them are lazy lately. The last couple of years they've been pretty lazy. She sat in this lady's yard in her chair and began to talk trash and berate her. Called her all kinds of things. I mean, geez wheeze. I mean, she called her everything under the book. Talking about her kids look delicious to eat and stuff like that. And the worst thing she can do is say, well, get off my property. And the lady just laughed at her. And so she proceeded to go back into the house, where her then son decides to be very disrespectful to his mother. His mother's going through enough. She's very stressed out. He's telling her what he's going to do, and he's going to go and make her get off property. The mother saying, no, do not go out there to this woman, because the son doesn't know what the woman done said to the mother already that made her so upset. But he just wanted to be the man of the house. He's only probably about 12 years old. And the mom's like, no, do not go out there. So this carries on for probably like another 10, 15 minutes. Blah, 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 blah. Who gives a F once again? So then the mother, Ramona, she decides to go outside and get the family dog and, see if he's in the house. But what she didn't know was the family dog was gone, because the lady in the yard, the power she has, they shouldn't call her the lady in the yard. They should call her the shadow, because that's all she was able to do. She was able to control shadows. She used her shadow to knock over cups. And I'm not even exaggerating. All the power she had, all she did for at least the first hour was use her shadow to shake the chandelier or knock somebody's cup over or knock something off the step. Not grabbing anybody, not choking anybody, not any violence, besides to this poor dog. This poor dog was sitting out in the yard, minding his own business, barking, and she goes over there. You see the shadow goes and grab him, but then you don't see the shadow anymore. Then you see when Miss Ramona comes outside looking for the dog, the chain is like buried into the ground, but you see no dog. So once Ramona noticed that there wasn't no dog, she ran back into the house, and the son, he's looking out the window at the woman in the yard. He noticed that she increasingly got closer to the house. So first she was across the street on that property, and now she's a little closer. Not at the door or nothing like that, just a little closer. And she's still just sitting there, talking trash. I mean, this woman just sat there and talked trash. Talked trash and knocked over their property. That's what this woman did. This is the scariest thing she's done. She sat there and she talked trash and she knocked over their cups. Knocked over their cups and shook their chandelier. This is what she did. This is what Jason Blum considered as a good scary movie. Somebody to sit in your yard, talk trash, and knock over your trash. So once the son reminded Ramona that, which is mom's, that the lady had got closer, she decided to go out there and have a conversation with the woman in the yard again. The woman in the yard proceeds to tell Ramona that you the one who called for me, and this is why I'm here. See, because when the movie first came on and they showed Ramona had something going on with her leg and her clutches, it also alludes to it happened in a car accident with her and her husband. That is why her husband was dead, because they got in a car accident. And the story was that Ramona and her husband was riding home from dinner, and it was slippery outside, and the car slid, and that's how the accident happened. The husband died, and she ended up with a wounded leg. But the lady in the yard, she's proceeding to tell Ramona she know what really happened. So we go through this scenario of Ramona having dreams, and the kid, the oldest kid, which is about 12 years old, questioning his mom about what really happened, and things like that. Why are you being so crazy? You've been like this for the last couple of months or so. I mean, the boy ain't taking no mess off his mom's. Jeez. I mean, she did the best she could, as far as my view, This movie right here, I gotta make fun of it because this movie was terrible. This movie was boring. It was long. It was pointless. And to be honest, it was ghetto. This movie was ghetto. I'm not even gonna pull no punches on that. This movie was straight up ghetto. I mean, the things that was happening, I'm like, come on, man. Y'all couldn't think of nothing else better to say but this? You couldn't do anything better than that? And then I'm better, guys. I promise not to have another BF. But this movie put you through a lot of changes. I told you guys this was going to be a rough ride. So let's make it through this movie without having another BF. Let's do it. Okay, so pretty much the mom, she went back into the house where the son brings up to the mom that, why don't you just go get the gun that dad had inside his room? And she said, no, don't you ever talk about no gun, don't you? He's like, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it. Like I said, the young man was very, I don't know if he was being disrespectful or he was just tired of his mom's, the things that she was doing and acting depressed and not really helping them and let the power get cut off and he couldn't use his cell phone and he couldn't play his video game and they couldn't contact nobody and they ran out of dog food. I caught myself that time. I ain't have a BF. So anyway, she stopped him from going to get the weapon, and the little daughter, like I said, she had two kids, a son and a daughter. So the daughter, she was doing something and she got stuck. She stepped on something. So while she was attending the daughter, the son, he decided to go in the room and grab the gun that the father had. It was like a shotgun with one bullet in it. And he went out there to approach the lady in the yard, which she actually got a little closer. Excuse me, there's bugs out here. And he went to have a conversation with the lady in the yard, and she told the son that your mom's is completely lying about what happened in the car accident. You know, this, whatever she's telling you, that's not the truth. So my question is with this goes, are you the bad guy or are you the snitch? Are you telling what's going on? What's going on with this lady in the yard? The lady in the yard, she's actually a real entity. She's an entity, I'm sorry. She's actually a living being or some kind of demon. She's not just in someone's mind. So we can scratch that right there because the son actually talked to her and she's actually did things like knocking over chandeliers and cups, and like I said, she'll call it the shadow trash lady because that's all she did, was talk trash and knock over trash. So anyway, she told the son what was the deal, and so the son, he came back in the house with the gun, and the mom, she realized that the son did go in there and get the gun, and she went to approach the son, and the son holding the weapon towards her, and he making his mom tell the truth. So turn to find out, of course, you know this was about to go at. No, you know, most movies like this, yeah, it's usually the person that's crazy and they made a fictional character. No, what it was is, to be honest, I'm still kind of confused of what happened at the very end, but we're going to try. I'm going to try to figure it out while I'm talking. Maybe I can, you know, enlighten myself. So she was explaining to the son, no, actually I was driving out to dinner and me and your father had an argument because I really didn't want to live out here in this farm and he wanted to, but I wanted to go back to the city. And I told him that I was going to leave him and go back to the city, and I wasn't coming back to live in this farm. So as we was riding home, we really did happen. It really was a slide. I didn't really do it on purpose, and we ran into a truck, an oncoming car, and that is what actually happened. So my thing is, at that point right there, I was even more confused because I was like, if this is really true, she really didn't intentionally kill her husband. All she did was just lied about who was driving. Is that a reason for a demon or a lady in black to sit in your yard on your property talking trash? So, okay, we get past that part. So the lady in the yard, she gets a little bold now. She gets up and she wants to walk around the house, walk around outside the house and scare people. And of course, like I said, all she does is knock over stuff and play with her shadows and tease people and things like that in the house. So the moms realized that she couldn't take it any longer, so she decided to try to go out in the barnyard and start a car up that seemed like it hasn't been started in months. You know, because like I said, it made a point at the very beginning where when they didn't have any power and no more dog food, it was alluding to that the moms, she pretty much just shut down and wasn't leaving the house. So it really didn't explain how they went to school or anything like that. Thank Jason Blum. It had no explanation. So, you know, I told you, when he makes movies, it's like you have to go be a scientist and you got to bring a pen and pad and a calculator and, you know, all kinds of things like that. And a road map. You need to know everything. You got to learn what terrain is. And Jason Blum, I'm not even going to rant on you this movie right here. I'm not even going to rant because this movie was terrible. So let's fast forward because blah, 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 blah. This movie is terrible. So it comes down to the point where it was a showdown between the lady in the yard, the woman, and the kids. And she decided, okay, now I'm going to start attacking people by grabbing the shadows and using the shadows to try to choke them out or kill them like that. And it came down to a showdown when the mama Ramona and the lady in the yard. I'm sorry, I call her Shadow Lady because that's all she did was play with shadows and knock over trash. It came down to it where actually she was a being. She wasn't a figment of her imagination because she was actually a physical being. Because the kids were saying it. Because first I thought they was going to show that the lady in the yard was actually his mother, acting out as someone in the yard. You've seen it a million times in movies. But that's not what happened. I think it would have made more sense if that what it was. But it was actually a real being. So what it was, the mom, she wanted to commit suicide, in her own life. And the demon came to help her. The demon came to help her in her own life. That's what I got from the movie. If anybody got anything else from the movie, please tell me. Pretty much that was the gist of the movie. That the demon, the person in the yard, came to help her in her life. Because she'd been talking about doing it for weeks and months. So she decided to come and help her. So it doesn't explain why she's actually a physical being, not just in her mind. So the mom convinced her son and her daughter to try to go to the neighbor's house. Like I said, it's about 3 to 5 miles away. It was dark outside. She gave the kids a flashlight and told them, go ahead and try to get there. So she went to a battle with the lady in the yard, the demon, the Shadow King, or whatever you want to call her. The figment of her imagination is really an entity. Excuse my language. So it goes through a scenario where she puts the shotgun to her head and the demon is like holding her hand, forcing her to do it. But the crazy part is, it's not like it's just in her mind. Somebody actually seen that it is a physical thing, which is the kids seeing that it was a physical thing. So of course they're not gonna run off, and the mom just told them to go run in the middle of the dark and try to go 3 miles. So she goes through a battle with the demon, and she has the gun to her head, and the demon about to pull the trigger, and then it cuts off to outside the house where you see the 2 kids are coming back to the house because, like I said, she sent them out in the middle of the night to go 3 to 5 miles with just a flashlight. So as the kids came back in, in your mind you think that the woman went on and killed herself. You didn't hear a shot sound or nothing like that, but that doesn't mean anything. So as they ran back to the house, the moms ran outside the house, which means I guess she made peace with herself or the demon, because like I said, it wasn't just herself, the demon. She told the kids, you ain't got to worry about the demon anymore. And her and the kids, they go walk off to go to the neighbor's house. And when they get to the neighbor's house, it was their house. It was their own house, and it was like nothing ever happened. The moms had food in the house, the power was on, the dog was still living. I'm more confused than I was before I seen the movie. This movie was terrible. I'm going to give it my rating. Y'all know my ratings. My ratings go 5 out of 5. Pterodon Soldiers is the best. 0 out of 5. Pterodon Soldiers is the worst. I'm going to give this movie a 1.0. And the only reason why I'm giving it a 1.0, just off the fact that somebody took that effort to play in this movie, even though they saw that it was a terrible strip. Hey, people gotta take that chance where they can get them. So I'm not mad at the actors. I'm mad at Jason Blum. Jason Blum, you are the worst. You guys, you set us up. You started off so good, and then lately you just been making nothing but a burning pile of. So you take this movie and we made it, guys. So this movie gets 1 Pterodon Soldier out of 5. This movie was terrible. Please save your money. Don't go see this. Trust BG. BG's not going to lie to you. My next movie review will be the Popeye series and The Working Man. So the Popeye series has 3 parts. None of them are connected. One's called Popeye's Revenge. The other one's called Popeye the Slayer Man. And the other one's called Fiddle Me Timbers, if that's how you pronounce it. And then we got The Working Man. So that will be the next 2 movies. I'm going to do the 3 Popeye movies all at one time. So that's going to be a collaboration. I thank each and every one of you guys. I hope at least when you watch my video, I hope at least I can put a smile on your face. If you're going through something, hopefully I can take your mind off of it for a little while, you know, while I try to entertain you guys. So this is BG Dino. Shout out to the Dante Show Network. Shout out to June 5th. Shout out to Miss Jersey. Her channel is Forensic 8888. Please subscribe to her channel. She does movie reviews also. This is BG Dino, the Third Zone Soldier. It's about to rain, so I gotta be out. Salute.